He was carried to Mount Athos as a newborn after his mother died in childbirth. For 82 years Mihailo Tolotos lived, prayed, and died on that peninsula without once seeing a woman. The outside world kept changing. His world stayed exactly as he had chosen. Joe Kennedy smiled for the cameras that day and held his daughter close. What Rosemary did not know, what none of them said aloud, was that her father would soon authorize a lobotomy that left her institutionalized for the rest of her life. London, 1938. Before. He was 23 years old and he refused the blindfold. Bhagat Singh walked to the gallows in 1931 knowing his death would outlive the empire that ordered it. This photograph was taken just before. He looks like someone who had already made his peace. Beria held Stalin's daughter on his lap and smiled for the camera. Years later Stalin had Lokoba poisoned. Later still Beria would be executed too. Everyone in this 1931 photograph orbited a man who eventually turned on nearly all of them. Power in that circle was temporary. France had fought China for this jungle and barely won. French soldiers in Tonkin, 1890, standing in a country that did not want them, 5 years after a war that nearly toppled the government back home. Empires often look more confident in photographs than they actually were. He let people drive swords completely through his torso and walked away without bleeding. Mirin Dejo performed this in front of doctors, journalists, and crowds who could not explain what they were watching. He died in 1948 swallowing a steel needle. The body had finally said enough. They handed the most famous man in America a pair of clippers and told him to sit down. Elvis Presley, drafted on March 24, 1958, lost his crown of hair to a regulation cut. The screaming fans outside the gates could not save a single strand. She was 9 years old. He was 22 and reading her the Bible in Tennessee in 1937 as though that made it sacred. They had 9 children together. The marriage lasted 60 years. The law that allowed it took much longer to change. He is smiling because he made it. A wounded soldier at Flers Courcelette, September 1916, receiving treatment and grinning like a man who just negotiated with death and won. The Battle of the Somme was still raging around him. He had already gotten his best possible outcome. She was buried with a sickle across her throat so she could not come back. 17th century Poland, a woman her community feared enough to pin to the earth after death. Archaeologists found her in PN centuries later. She had stayed exactly where they put her. The stones were carved by hand in a place that had already seen empires come and leave without permission. A Pashtun tomb below Bilkanai, Swat, 1929. The British were nearby. The Soviet Union was a decade from invading the region next door. The graves predate all of it. Velázquez painted him like he painted kings. Straight on, unsmiling, full of dignity that the court around him probably never extended in person. Sebastian de Mora served Philip IV for 6 years and died in 1649. The portrait outlasted everyone else in that palace. Somebody wrote "When does it end" on his helmet and nobody made him take it off. A Marine in full gear, Hugh, 1968, carrying the question every soldier had but most never said out loud. The Tet Offensive was 3 weeks old. Nobody had a good answer yet. They never left the ground. Japanese aircraft wrecked on Iwo Jima, 1945, destroyed before they could threaten anything. The battle cost both sides more than anyone had calculated. These planes are the quieter part of that arithmetic, grounded permanently before the fighting even finished. The car was new and so was she. Betty Boyd, late 1920s, leaning against her Chevrolet Superior in Southern California sunshine, a silent film star in a world about to find its voice. Sound was coming for Hollywood. Not everyone would survive the transition. He did not write letters of protest. Maya Lansky took 14 men and lead pipes into a gathering of 2,000 American Nazis celebrating Hitler's birthday in 1938. Dozens left injured. Lansky later said it was the most important thing he ever did. He meant it. Every tag was a name. Every name was a person who left somewhere and never came back. 58,307 dog tags at the Harold Washington Library, Chicago, representing the full American cost of Vietnam. Seeing the number written down does nothing. Standing inside it does everything. The camera needed seconds to capture them. History needed less than 2 months to erase them. Paris Commune fighters behind their barricade, April 1871, already blurring into ghosts. The French army killed thousands that May. The blur was almost a prophecy.